Yeah, I'm here with Jay Talbot from the Community Council of Devon, and Jay, you've just given a very interesting sort of presentation on community planning here at the Climate Projections event. And I asked you at the end, whether you saw the new tools that are available on the website as part of the UK Climate Projections initiative, how useful they might be to support community planners.
I think potentially they're really useful. We've had a quick look at them. We're struggling a bit with, there's such a richness of knowledge there, and I think perhaps it's just a little bit too much, too dense for communities to easily get a grip on. My colleagues who've had a closer look at it reckon that only really dedicated professionals are really going to make the maximum use of it, people with good technical understanding. So we are a bit concerned that, we feel that there could be a bit of tweaking there that could go on, so that, for example, if you've got projections going from rainfall might increase by 60% or it might decrease by 5% as the ends of the spectrum, actually you can give some support to those that are denying climate change. Say, well, actually, the expert figures aren't necessarily that there will be any adverse impacts. So I worry a bit about that side of it, and I do think I don't know if why you need to register. I think that is always a bit of a disincentive. People have a slight anxiety about registering, and I just think we need a bit of a human face at the front of it as well somehow to say hand holding. It's not that hard. We'll help you through it. We'll help you if you get stuck. And maybe ways in which communities can go very directly to their local knowledge and look at a simplified version of it. And then if they want to branch out at a greater range of possibilities and potentialities to get there, that would be my sort of immediate reaction as to how it might be used.
Yeah, you're closer to community development than I am these days, but one practical use I was thinking, but for the projections, is that they might form an expert, if you like, a dedicated person in a community. Yeah. You mentioned you've got someone from the Hadley Centre, in some of your community. Yeah. But someone who's really dedicated and could get to grips with these projections might use them to produce maps, scenarios, which would then be put on a village hall, no computers allowed, but just be the basis for engaging people in discussion, and people who do come up with the, well, actually, if you put these figures in, it shows that there's no problem. It could be challenged, and it could just be a discussion and just help engage people in the whole climate change debate. Do you think that would?
I think that would work very well, and I think that's a really good idea. My fear is that have we got the people in each local group who have that technical understanding and capability to produce that presentation? In some groups we will have, but in many groups I think they'll lack the confidence and the capability of generating that. So perhaps they need some kind of enabling support. For example, when the Countryside Agency decided social inclusion was really important, it provided a social inclusion worker to every rural community council. Now, if we had that kind of climate change development worker who looked at village halls work, parish planning work, etc., and made sure that climate change was implanted, you might be able to start to develop that technical understanding or other approaches.
You mentioned before we started filming about the role of champions, and from what you were saying, a champion would not be the sort of person to lead on this sort of meeting. Would you like to sort of expand on your views on that?
There are lots of really good champions, and I know some of them, and some of them do fantastic work. But I do think there's a bit of a tendency that this idea of champions as the way of trying, that someone, a great leader will emerge and drag everybody forward, doesn't actually work terribly well in many communities, and that actually you need to understand community development, you need to work at the right pace, you need to work at a broad front. My fear is that champions may, in some cases, actually, if you like, entrench opposition by being too challenging, being too, really not giving people a way to increment their way forward, which is the way most people are going to move. And the result is that you might have 10 or 20% people who really have changed their lives radically, and then you've got 80 or 90% that haven't done anything. If you had 70% of people changing their lives significantly, it would be a real impact.
Thanks very much indeed.
Okay.